Hey guys, welcome back to Coin Knowledge. So today we're going to be covering a top RWA project, one of the newer TGEs in the RWA sector, one that we've talked about a little bit briefly on the channel in the past, but because we're in a market dip right now, it is not, I don't want to say easy, but it is a little bit more available to find some of these projects on a discount than it was obviously about 7 to 14 days ago. So I do want to highlight obviously a project that I think is on a decent retracement. Now again, before we cover the project, do realize that it is a newer launch, literally launched this month, so there is still room for some more volatility, and in the current market condition we're in, it could go either way. So as always, if you guys get value out of the video here today, if you guys could subscribe to the channel and like the video, you guys support means a lot and I appreciate it. And as always, nothing I say is financial advice, just giving you guys my opinion. But when we take a look at the markets here, we can see that everything, obviously Bitcoin is still going down, everything is still kind of red. So we're still seeing projects kind of down a little bit. Now, especially projects in the RWA sector, across other narratives as well. But if we look at RWA projects, we're seeing a lot of them still down, about 15, 20%, some 30% on the 7-day. So, if we look at the RWA sector, we're not going to touch on the fact of why we're bullish on it. We've done that so many times on the channel already. And if you don't know, I do think RWA is going to be one of the top narratives this cycle. So having said that, covering RWA as a narrative for this cycle as a potential top sector to look at, and the fact that we see a lot of projects that are still down. The project we're going to cover today is Lingo. Again, Lingo is a newer launch, but they are in the RWA sector here. So when we take a look at their website, and I'll say this right now, maybe an unpopular opinion, I do wish Lingo's website was a little bit more snappy. What I mean by that is scrolling up and down. Does take a minute, not a big deal, but I do wish they had just made it a little bit more straightforward. But when we take a look at what Lingo is, well, they are a gamified kind of RWA platform. Now what that means is they have the rewards powered by real world assets where you can actually get in here, complete SocialFi events, you can get rewards and then trade them for real world rewards. So they say Lingo is the first token that leverages real world assets, or RWA, gamification and crypto culture to fuel and disrupt community rewards as well. So when we go down here, we see that they have 3 billion investors combined under asset management, a part of their ecosystem, and we can see that some of the companies that they work with, they do say they have rewards at 3,000 plus brands across 80 different countries, thanks to their network of 100,000 plus hotels and gift cards partnerships. So we look at companies here with Nike, Spotify, PlayStation or Sony, Marriott, Starbucks, Netflix. All these companies. I guarantee at least one of these on here. So, this is some pretty big partnerships here as far as being able to actually get rewards and maybe gift cards, be able to actually use them for, all these different companies and different projects here. So when we take a look at it, if we scroll down here a little bit, again, this is kind of their website as well. They say every Lingo platform fees contribute to the RWA pool that powers the Lingo's reward ecosystem. So again, I'll just take you briefly through the website. It's like I said, it's a little interesting as far as how it scrolls, but essentially you get Lingo, earn points, and then you can claim rewards as well. Now the big thing is you can see just how many influencers on Twitter, over on X, has gone ahead and talked about this project. So we do have some pretty big names, obviously, shouting out Lingo, and I do think that's going to continue to be a common thread as the cycle progresses. I think more and more people are going to keep finding out about it. So we look from their team. This is some of the past experiences and kind of touching on their investors here. Obviously, we see Altcoin Daily, one of the top crypto news channels in the space with millions of users as well. So obviously, you want to take a look at stuff like that because these are the guys, these major influencers that could potentially move the needle on the price action. I say they're supported by the Google Cloud startups as well. But, I think when we're looking at, RWA projects, for one, RWA as a sector, not that many quality projects in the space, especially ones that are at a market cap of Lingo as well. You can see, you can go here to this page as well, just DYO or do your own research on the top right. They have their light paper, a little bit about, I think, their tokenomics, their audit score, all their, what explains the project as well. Because as always, if you guys want to learn more about Lingo, more than we can cover in one video, then I encourage you to go in here and do your own research. You can see that the team is Docs. So they have a Docs team. They go out to events. They have their partnerships here with stuff like Magic Eden, a pretty big platform as well. CyberKongs, just to name a couple. And now, when we look at the Lingo price action, we can see that Lingo right now is at an FDV, so a fully diluted evaluation of just shy of 400 million. Now, the current circulating market cap is about, I don't know what that is, like an eighth of that, just shy of 50 million. Now, I do think for a project of this, aspect of this magnitude, with the partnerships that they have, with being in the narrative that they are on, and the fact that they are on the base blockchain, so they are, in my opinion, in a hot ecosystem for this cycle. I think stuff built on Solana and Base potentially, do have that push or that, edge against other projects that are built on other chains that maybe aren't as hot, stuff like Polygon, Ethereum, just name a couple. But being on Base, I do think is a bullish aspect for Lingo here, especially with RWA. So when we look at the market cap, we're going to cover the dilution here in a minute. But again, when we take a look here, this thing went live, I want to say on December 12th, so not that long ago here, about 10 days ago now. Now, they went live, they were trading, obviously, if we go down here, they were trading around 25 cents, and this thing got all the way up to like 70 cents, and now we're seeing it bounce right off about mid-30s, so we're at 39 cents right now. So again, about like a 40 to 45% retracement here over the last couple days because we're seeing the overall market dip a little bit. Now, a couple things about Lingo. Again, when we take a look at the fundraising here, if it loads, I don't think CryptoRank will show it all, but I do believe they actually raised quite a bit of funds. They raised definitely more than 30K. They raised a lot of money here as well. And we take a look at their vesting. This is the interesting part of Lingo because we saw the difference in dilution between that 46 million circulating market cap and the fully diluted of about 390 million. So when we take a look at it, we can see that there's no token unlocks for the first 90 days after TGE. So as far as initial, pre-sale or early investor dumping, there is no, dilution between now and the first 90 days. So we won't see any unlocks happening until March 11th, 2025. Now, that is something worth making note of. And then this is the different breakdown of it if you want to see it as well. And when we take a look here, we can see as far as dilution goes, once the unlocks do happen, they are, a little frequent, admittedly. But then if we go all the way down to the end of 2025, we'll see that there will be 150 million Lingo currently in circulation. So in my opinion, not too much, honestly. So it's not too big a dilution between now and the end of 2025. Now, as far as where Lingo could potentially go, this is a new project. Again, that volatility is there being such a newer launch. But when we look at the exchange listings, they are currently on KuCoin, Mexi, Gate.io. So, they are missing those tier 1, more of those tier 2 exchanges. When we take a look at that roadmap, that is part of the roadmap here soon is to be listed on tier 1 centralized exchanges. I don't know if they mean tier 1 dexes. I don't know if that's a thing, but they say tier 1, centralized exchange listing. So that'll be interesting. But if we take a look, they see, onboarding team, $10 million raised from top investors. As well. And again, they have their token audit that you can find in their white paper, there also. But secured marketing contracts with 200 plus ambassadors and KOL, so just influencers. Now, soon they do want, again, to launch their token on tier 1s. They want to have their claim platform go live also and expand the RWA acquisitions as well. So quite a bit of things going on for Lingo. Now, I do think the team, being Docs, having the backers that they have, having the influencers behind them, being in the RWA space, being on Base, these are all bullish aspects to me, especially having, again, no unlocks for the first 90 days is pretty huge because I do expect the markets to turn around between now and, beginning of March. Obviously, nobody knows what's going to happen for sure. That's just what I'm speculating on personally, and I'm bullish on RWA as a narrative. So obviously, if you're not bullish on RWA, then this project doesn't make a whole lot of sense to you. But I'm bullish on RWA, I'm bullish on the Base ecosystem. So a couple of reasons why I'm bullish on Lingo, obviously. Now the price action, again, it's a newer altcoin. Now obviously if we were in a more bullish market conditions, I do think we would see this chart potentially going the other way. Now all that means is now if this is something that you've had on your watch list or something you might potentially add to your watch list, because we're in the market conditions we're in, this is a time that you do want to potentially look at entries on these newer projects or on any projects while they're dipping. You know, if you're looking at Lingo, just long, you know, not that long ago, it was at a $75 million market cap. You know, that you don't want to buy these things when they've already 2-3x from these lows. Now, it could go lower, being, you know, a newer TGE, and because the markets, again, in my opinion, I don't think are going to flip insane bullish, you know, full altcoin season mode any day now. You know, I think we do still have a little bit of time here, you know, maybe towards the end of January potentially, but really nobody knows that for sure. That's why you just put it on your watch list in DCA and set a plan for any project, but I digress. But either way, that is Lingo. You know, obviously we've talked about it briefly, you know, in the past, but now that the TGE is live, it's been out for a bit. And I do think at the current level of sub $50 million in circulated market cap, I do think Lingo, to me, has the potential to do some numbers from here. I do see it potentially being one of the better performing newer RWA altcoins in the space, just because of all the aspects that we covered previously. But it will be interesting to see how they perform and execute everything they want to do in their ecosystem, because it is a newer project as far as a newer launch. So either way, guys, that is Lingo for you guys in the RWA space. If you're looking for another kind of a lower mid-cap play on the base ecosystem in the RWA sector, then maybe take a look at Lingo. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think of Lingo? Have you heard of it before? Is this new to you guys? Or if you already hold Lingo, let me know where you think this thing is going. As always, if there's other projects in the space you want me to cover, ones that maybe we just don't know about or talk about enough, let me know in the comments below. I try to answer all your guys' comments, and I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch the video. I know your time is valuable. And as always, if you guys want an optional way of supporting the channel, there is a Patreon linked below. There's also the Discord you can get into. And if you got value out of today's video, if you guys could, you know, consider liking the video, subscribing, hitting the notification bell, and sharing the video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. All right, see you guys.